How are you doing this afternoon? All right, listen. I was up late, I was up early, had a long day. I need y'all to help wake me up. So when I say, how are you doing this afternoon? I want you to say it like you want me to feel good. How are you doing this afternoon? All right, great. Thank you so much. My name is Philippe Guy, and as Principal Bailey said, I'm here to talk to you about you. This is simple today is because, and for some of you, where are my seniors at right now? All right, you seem really excited, great. So for some of you, at the end of this year, real life begins. The idea that you have a direction that you determine, a destination that you decide on, and the life of your choosing begins in 1 year. For some of you, you've still got a little bit of high school left. You're coming into your senior year, your last year to really make it count. You're thinking about college, you're thinking about your career, you're thinking about all those things that you know are just on the other side of 1 more year of school. For sophomores, you know what's going on now, you're deep into high school, and you've got a couple of years to really make it count. Junior year, senior year, to get those grades where you want them to be, to position yourself in the life that you want. And for freshmen, you've got several years to make the most out of this experience. And what I know from my experience is that where you are right now, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, you're in the best position you'll ever be in your entire life to create the life that you want for yourself, to create the life of your dreams, to be whoever it is that you want to be. But it's about taking advantage of this experience of being a high school student. See, what you're doing right now is laying a foundation for the rest of your life. What you do in high school, it might seem like it's just about classes and activities. I know y'all are some great students. Your principal had a lot of great things to say about how active you are, how academically engaged you are. And it might seem like it's all about getting to college. But after college, there's a lot more. There's maybe medical school, maybe law school, maybe your master's degree. But after that, there's just life. There's just the life that you want to live. And right now, with the life that you're living today, you're setting yourself up for that time. So this is all about helping you understand and understand what you can create, and giving you the tools to create it. Because everything that you're creating in your life is happening right now. So this conversation today is not just going to be me talking to you. That's not why I'm here. I'll tell you a little bit about why I'm here in a little bit, but I'm not just going to talk to you. I need to have a conversation with you, okay? So I need to ask you all for a couple things. Everybody say attention. Okay, everybody say it louder. Say attention. Thank you. I'll need your attention. That just means when I'm speaking, you're listening. Good job. Also, your engagement. When you're listening, you're really thinking. But also your participation. So if I say repeat after me, you'll repeat after me. Yeah, good job. You're doing good so far. Doing well so far. And if I ask you a question, I'll need some volunteers, okay? So I'm going to start out with a couple of questions. And they're going to be open-ended, but I need some leaders to step up and answer them for me to help me get this thing started. So the first question that I have for this group today is, why are you here? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a question for anyone. Hands up if you want to answer this question.
You mean like, why am I like at school?
Well, I mean like, it's pretty much whatever you want it to be. So I'm asking, how would you respond to that question? Why are you here? And what's your name? George Marzo, and he's here because he has to learn. Everybody give George Marzo. Good. Good job, George. That was the right answer. What's up? What's your name?
Dennis Welsh.
Dennis Welsh.
I have to be here because my parents want me.
Dennis Welsh, and he has to be here because his parents want him to be. Everybody give Dennis Welsh a round of applause. Can I get somebody else? There's an answer I'm looking for. I want to see if I get somebody else. I need somebody from this side of the room. Are these where the freshmen are? Yeah. Oh my God. Can I get one person? What's your name? Vince. Vince what? Everybody else gets last name. Vince Duronsky. And you're here to get your diploma. Okay, that's a good answer. Everybody give Vince a round of applause. That's one. Better be good, man. What's your name? Chase, what's your last name? Say it again? Walbridge. Chase Walbridge. It's cool, dude. I lose my voice sometimes too. Chase Walbridge. Why are you here? Chase Walbridge is here because he likes reading. Everybody give it up for Chase. These are all great answers, right? Basically, by law, you have to be in school if the crime to not be here. Your parents make you come here. You're here to learn. You're here to get that diploma. You're here because you like to read. All of these great reasons that you're here. But I'm going to talk about something a little bit bigger. I want everybody to repeat after me. Say, I have a purpose.
I have a purpose.
Say a little louder. Say, I have a purpose.
I have a purpose.
Thank you. I believe you're here because you have a purpose. A special God-given purpose. Something that you were born to do. There's a reason that you're on this earth. And it's greater than college, and it's greater than baseball, and it's greater than football, and it's greater than a career. It's about truly contributing something. You've been given some special gifts, talents, and abilities that are already showing up right now. And those gifts aren't just for you. They're for you to be able to share with the world around you. See, like when you look at this entire institution, St. Vincent de Paul High School, they didn't build this school because they didn't care about your futures. But they also didn't build the school because they care about your individual futures, right? We know, as human beings, as a society, that if we don't develop every individual being into what they're supposed to be, our society won't be what it's supposed to be. So all of you, you've been given something. A gift. My gift is speaking, and I'm doing all that I can with it. You all have those same gifts too. And some of you right now, because you're in high school, you might think that, oh, I'm not very talented in these different ways, and I don't know why I'm here, if I matter, and all these questions that kind of live in our heads as high school students. But the bottom line is, your life is very, very important. Not just to you, not just to your class, not just to your family, not just to your community, but to the world. And I mean, everything God created has a purpose, right? Like, we have trees. Does everybody know what trees do? What's the purpose of trees? Oxygen, very simple. What about bees? Pollination, very simple. Everything in nature has something that it gives that allows us all to live. And all of you have something like that too. A bee can do it, a tree can do it. You're a human being. The beautiful thing about this experience is you get to decide. So I want this talk to be grounded in the idea that you having the best high school experience possible, and having the best college experience possible, and living the best life possible, that's not a selfish thing. That's not just for you. That's for all of us. So say it one more time. Say, I have a purpose.
I have a purpose.
Okay, fantastic. Now, next question. Why am I here? Because I'm getting paid? That's an okay answer, but no, that's not it. You're the only wrong answer today. My bad. I heard all those news. I just want to say there will be more wrong answers. So anybody else have somebody sitting over here? Because I have a purpose. Oh, you're so great. What's your name? Sophia. Everybody give Sophia a round of applause. Right? Anybody else? Another guess? Yes, right here in front. To inspire you. What's your name? Cammy. Everybody give Cammy a round of applause. Good job. Let me just take one more. See if anybody can hit the nail on the head. No? Is that? Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So, whenever you... Oh, right over here. Great. What's your name, brother? Tyler. Why am I here? Help you find your purpose. Everybody give Tyler a round of applause. Good job. Good job. That's really good. So when your school brings in somebody to speak, which I know doesn't happen very often here, but when they do, it's because every life is one of two things. They're either a warning or an example. In the warning life is when they say, we brought this guy in, and we wanted him to tell you about all the things he's done in life, about the actions he's taken, about the mistakes he's made, and we want to say, listen to all that, and never, ever do what that guy did. That's the warning example, right? And the warning example. The example life is when they say, hey, we brought this lady in, and she's so great, and she's done everything right, and she's made all these great decisions, and she's very successful, so everybody do what she did. I have the privilege today of standing before you as both a warning and an example. Because yes, I am a successful person. I've done a lot of great things. I'll tell you all about it. I'll pat myself on the back. But at the same time, I lived a life that was far more challenging than the life I needed to live. I lived a life where I made far more mistakes than I needed to make. I lived a life where I suffered far more than I needed to suffer. And most of that wasn't because of my outside circumstances. It was because of what was going on in here and in here. It's because who I thought I was, who I was trying to be, how I responded to the people around me, caused me some major challenges. At the same time, I had some good examples. I don't come from a poor area where I didn't have any resources. I came from a place where my dad was the chief of staff of the president pro tem of the Senate. I grew up around the state capitol, eventually would become a lawyer. My mom was a business owner. I lived on a lake. Things were pretty good. So I had a lot of good to look at, but I didn't have the examples how to be, how to act, how to feel. So by the time I got to high school, when I was your experience, when I was where you are right now, I pretty much hated myself. I had zero self-esteem. I had zero belief in my ability. I didn't think I was valuable. And I thought very, very low of my potential, but mostly of my value. And so I didn't show up to high school like, oh yeah, I feel good, it's going to be dope, I'm going to have a good time, I'm going to clean up here, it's going to be great, I'm going to be popular. I showed up like, oh, here we go again. Because I showed up in a lot of pain. So by the time I got to high school, I actually went to a Catholic high school for my first year, Jesuit high school, all-boys high school in Sacramento, California. By the time I got there, I had been to a new school every year since the 4th grade. Anybody here been to a new school before? Yeah, it's super fun, right? Yeah, that's good. Now, generally speaking, for me at least, it was a challenge. 4th grade, I went to a new school, and at that school, I came from a private school that I went to from K-3 into a public school. And this was a magnet school, which is supposed to be a really good school, but it was in an area that wasn't that great. And only half the kids were the magnet kids, and the other kids were the regular kids, however you would define that. But I'll tell you how they defined it. I was the nerd. I was the guy that was like, too white for the black kids, but too black for the white kids. Like, it was like, well, why do you talk like that, Lee? Where do you come from? Like, what is this that you're doing? Like, who are you, man? We've never met somebody like you. We don't want to be around you, right? That's what the black kids treated you like, right? The white kids, you know, they're like, okay, you're cool, but you're different than us, so we've got some things to say about that, right? We've got some things that we want to point out about the fact that you're different. So I came into this place from a very, very small Montessori school to being in this place where I was just like, what? I don't have a spot. I don't fit in here. Now at home, things weren't any better because I didn't really fit in at home either. I came from a mixed family. You know what a mixed family is? That means that my parents were married, they were each their second marriage, and there was previous kids. So my mom had a daughter and a son before she married my dad. And my dad didn't have any kids. But when we got married, when my parents got married, my sister was essentially only child. My oldest brother was already out of the house, so my sister got all the attention. And then when my mom married my dad, she had 2 sons, me and my brother. And then her dad married somebody new and had 2 daughters, her little sisters. Suddenly, she went from being a single kid with all the attention and love to being somebody who was a stranger in 2 homes. And she didn't get treated well either. I love my father. He was not great to my sister at all. She's 7 years older than me. She already had some problems when he met her. He was not great to her. Her stepmom, also not great to her. Can anybody imagine what it might be like to be in a house, to be in a life where both homes you go to, you feel abused? Hopefully you can. But I'll tell you what, my sister was angry. And like a lot of kids, she didn't know how to process that anger. She didn't know what to do with it anger. You know, she's like 7 years old, she's got all this new family. Then, you know, we start growing up and all these kids are getting things she never got, getting opportunities she never got, and she was angry. So she took her pain out on the closest manifestation of the cause, which was us, little brothers and little sisters. So at school I felt out of place because I didn't fit in with any group. At home I at a place because I was being abused. Because my sister was beating us up, calling us names every single day. Now, I know that we have like, you know, sisters and brothers in a fight or whatever, but this was like next level. This was like destroy your self-esteem. Make you feel like you don't belong here. Make you feel like you should never be born. Like her mission was to make me feel like I'm ugly, I'll never be loved, nobody cares about me, and I don't have any control over my life. So at home, I'm getting abused. 4th grade comes, I go to a new school, I'm cast out everywhere. Then I got the gate program. 5th grade, I go to a new school, still having the same struggle, and then my parents are divorced. So that was like an awesome, extra great thing to happen in my life, right? Like, oh, you're getting teased at school, you're getting abused at home. Hey, divorce! Yay! Yeah, it was terrible, right? So my parents are divorced, and then I had my first addiction arrived at that time. I would walk to the refrigerator because I had this like hole, you know, like this hole in my stomach, you know, and my body would just feel like there's just like something missing, right? So I started shoving food in my face, right? So I'm eating all the time, every day, all day, I'm eating. And then I get to a place where I gained a bunch of weight. Yeah, I'm already getting teased at school. How do you think the weight gain went for me? Yeah, it got worse. So now I'm getting abused at home, getting abused at school, I'm getting made fun of, 5th grade, new school, 6th grade, new school, 7th grade, new school, 8th grade, and this entire time it doesn't get better, it gets worse. Every year, it got worse. My parents' divorce was very, very challenging. They had a lot of fighting, and at that time, when I was in junior high school, actually before I was in junior high school, my older sister had changed her mode of abuse. First it was names and beating me up, but by that time it was giving me drugs. So she was giving me marijuana when I was in, well, she started when I was like 8 years old, but she started really doing it like in junior high school. So I learned this lesson, which was really interesting because I was in a lot of pain. My teachers didn't know what to do about it. You know, they didn't ask me what was actually going on. I didn't have a counselor. They just saw me acting out and punished me. So I'm feeling like I don't belong anywhere. I'm being punished all the time. I'm being pushed out. And then I get drugs introduced to my life. And suddenly, I'm feeling like this is something that will help me. Because when my sister got me high, she stopped abusing me. So I learned these patterns at this time when I showed up at high school. I had these patterns in place that would dictate the rest of my life, all based on these challenges that I had as a young person. And here's what I know, like, at that time, I had a lot more control than I realized I had. That's why I'm talking to you today. I had a lot more control than I realized I had. But I took all those lessons that I learned about how to deal with pain. How to deal with pain, you take it out on somebody else. How do you deal with pain? You get high. How do you deal with pain? You for sure don't talk about it. Those are the lessons that I had coming into high school. And how do I feel about myself? Well, not very good. Pretty bad. I don't feel like I'm valuable. I don't feel like I matter. I don't feel loved. So I had all these things going on in the background, and then I got to high school, and like I said, you're in the best position to make the best out of your life that you'll ever be in, the best position to live your dreams, but at the same time, you're in a perfect position to screw everything up. Because the patterns that you develop right now, the habits that you develop right now, will be with you for the rest of your life. Like right now, at this age, you're in a place where your mind is still developing. You're very, very smart, but you're not done growing. So everything that you do at this point is changing the trajectory of your life. Does anybody here like In-N-Out? In-N-Out burgers? Oh, I see your face. Yes. Okay. So I love In-N-Out. And you know, every time you go to In-N-Out, you notice this? There's those palm trees that are in an X like this. Did you all notice? Okay, how did they get like that? What? They grow like that. Yes, that is a good answer. Yes, right. You're very close. Yes. That's good. That's accurate. And how do they grow like that? Well, this is what they do. When the tree is small, they put a rope on it. And they pull that rope in a certain direction. And because they pull that rope in that direction, that tree grows like this. No matter how much that tree grows at that direction, it will never reach its full height potential. No matter how much that tree grows, it will never be as tall as it can be. And that's exactly what's happening right now for you in high school. If you develop habits that take you off your trajectory and take you away from where you're going to go, it's possible to change back. That tree can't change back, y'all can change back. But the habits that you have will dictate where you end up. And again, academically, career-wise, yes, that is important. You're probably developing some good habits in that area. But habits I'm really talking about are the habits in your head and the habits in your heart. Because, yes, my sister beat me up and called me names and all those things. But I took that and internalized it and decided the things that she said were true. So what I ended up doing was going to high school, instead of being like not doing drugs and saying, oh, my sister's bad, I don't want to do that, I ended up being the person who thought that smoking weed was really, really cool. That was the awesome thing to do. That's how I found my friends. That's how I found involvement. That's how I found engagement. And I also had such low self-esteem, I did exactly what she did. I took that out on the people around me. I took that out on Sabrina in my Spanish class, who was way better than me in Spanish. I took that out on Brandon in my football team, who was way better than me at football. And he was a starter. I mean, I started for a little bit, but then they were like, no. So it wasn't good. It's okay. But I had these issues with basically being able to be comfortable with who I am. Because once again in high school, I had this problem, right? Like every year, I had tried on new identities. 4th grade, new school, try a new identity. See how this one works out. Still not accepted? Cool. 5th grade, new school, awesome. Try a new identity. See how this one works out. 6th grade, new school, great. Try a new identity. See how this one works out. Every year, I was trying to be a new person. Every year, I was trying to develop into somebody that was accepted by other people. But the biggest problem that I had was that I didn't accept myself. I didn't look at myself in the mirror and say, hey man, you're okay. You're good. You're valuable. You're handsome. You're smart. You matter. I didn't say those things to myself. And I let things get so bad that in addition to drug use and to the bullying and the other types of activities I engaged in, I ended up being in a place where essentially I hated myself. And I didn't know it. I didn't know what it felt like to hate myself, but I didn't know this. I didn't feel like I wanted to live. I didn't feel like I wanted to be around. I didn't feel like it would matter if I was gone. I didn't feel like I mattered at school. I didn't feel like I mattered at home. I just felt like I didn't matter. And even though there's evidence around me that suggested that I did in some way matter to other people, it was my own mindset that was repeating things in my head that made me feel that way. Everybody knows that you have this voice that's always going on in your head? Right now you got a voice that's speaking to you. It's talking to you about what's happening in front of you. It's interpreting things around you. We all have that voice. I didn't realize at that time that I could actually take control of that voice. I had a lot of examples around me of people who had let pain rule their lives. Right? I talked about my sister, because my parents divorced, but also my mom was an alcoholic. And so as I'm looking at her model that, and she's depressed, I'm learning those same lessons, like this is what I'm supposed to do. This is how you deal with pain. This is how you deal with the struggles. Right? So I ended up on a trajectory to a very, very, very bad place. Now, I learned a couple lessons as a young person. My mom, even though she was an alcoholic, she was clinically depressed, she was like, you have to do well in school, period. No excuse, not getting out of that. My oldest brother was literally a crackhead my entire life. So he was in the 1980s when there was a big crack epidemic, he was gone. My sister was on drugs, totally crazy, part of the reason why she abused us. So my mom was just like, dang, kid number 1, lost cause. Kid number 2, lost cause. My brother chose my dad. So my brother lived at my dad's house, and in high school, I'm living at my mom's house by myself, and she's saying, kid number 1, lost cause. Kid number 2, lost cause. Kid number 3, gone. You, son, you gotta win for me. So I had this tremendous pressure on me not to be happy. What the hell is that? That wasn't what she was talking about. Something happy? Are you happy? Are No, that's not a question. Do you feel good about yourself? How's the divorce going? How's this abuse thing working out for you? Is everything okay in your mind? Those aren't the questions that matter. What matters is, how are those raised? Because I gotta be able to tell my friends that my kid is smart. I gotta be able to tell my friends that at least one of my kids is going to college. I gotta be able to tell my friends that I'm about to have a doctor in my family. How are you raised? Not how are you? So I had no support around me asking how I was. But I still had that pressure to perform. Does anybody here have pressure to perform, pressure to do well, pressure to go to college, all those things? Yeah, we all have that. And it can be overwhelming. In the midst of all my pain, I had to try to be the golden child. So I hid everything. I hid it all. I stuffed it down deep inside. And that lasted forever. Well, until I was 30. From 15 to 30, it seems like a lifetime. So the habits that I started in school, marijuana being a specific one, and I was drinking when I was young too, without being the big one, that progressed every year. Because my pain got more and more, the pressure got more and more, my use got more and more. That's how I coped. At some point I realized I was a jerk. I stopped that. And I started meeting people another way. But at the same time, every year, addiction got greater and greater. And I do call it addiction. People will say that weed's not addictive. That is a lie. You know, weed's not addictive if you never smoke it. But if you do, it's possible to be addicted to weed. It's possible to be very addicted to weed. And I was. Because I started smoking when I was so young. So that was how my mind was wired, was get high to deal with pain. Get high to deal with pain. And then my mind was wired to say, stop, don't even think about your pain. Ignore your pain. Don't address your pain, right? So that pain lasted with me. Now, thank God I went to college because I learned something about myself there. College was another chance to try on a new identity. And it was awesome. I went to UC Davis. Anybody here want to be an Aggie? All right. Stanford kids in this room, I guess. So I went to Davis, and when I got to Davis, my life changed dramatically. On one front, my life changed because I went from somebody who didn't feel valuable, who wasn't feeling like I could be successful for all these things, to a person who started making a lot of friends. Because my thing was, look, I've been left out for so long, I've been feeling like an outcast for so long, that I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen here at Davis. So if there was a group of people standing around, I would start a conversation. And if there was somebody who was standing up to the side, who didn't feel comfortable, didn't look comfortable, felt like they didn't belong in the conversation, you know those people when people are talking over here, and they're just over here just like, okay, how can I get in this? How can I get in this? What do I do? How can I get in this, right? And I'd be like, hey, come in this. And so I started making all these friends. And I realized that I had been using my gifts the wrong way. Like I said before, everybody has a gift, right? And my gift is for communication. I say speaking and communication is all the same. And in high school, I was using that to decimate people with work, right? To try and knock people down from where they were to where I thought I was, and then lower than me so that I could feel better about myself. That was a wrong application of my gift and my skill. In college, I used that to lift people up. I used that same skill to help people feel included, help people feel good about themselves. And as a third year in college, after making all these friends and just being a really popular guy on campus, I was asked to run for ASUCD Senate. That's the student body senate at UC Davis. And so at that time, I thought to myself, I'm trying to do politics now. This sounds like a good move. So I went out and I did this campaign. It was on a slate. College elections are very serious, if you didn't know. Anybody here in student government at St. Vincent? All right. Well, I should do my research. That's fine. But anybody here interested in politics? Interested in going into law? Anything like that? A few people. So, cool. So when I found this opportunity to run for Senate, I went all in. We had to do like 40 or 50 presentations to different clubs on campus, and it was like a big undertaking. We had spending limits, campaign rules, all these things. And I won the first election for ASUCD Senate by a margin of 300 votes. So 300 votes ahead of the next person. So I won in what was called the first round of voting. We had ranked first voting. The next person didn't win until the 12th round. So I cleaned up in that election. And I finally realized that I had value. I'm good at something. This matters. I matter. I mean, people voted for me. That's crazy. The same kid who felt valueless in high school got to college, and people were like, you're the man, literally. So I went and took that experience, and I thought to myself, like, what's the greatest possible thing I can do with winning election? So step one, be the president of the campus. Step two, be the president of the United States. So suddenly my goals got really, really big. As a senior in UC Davis, after serving in that position for 1 year, when I ran as a junior, running as a senior, I ran for ASUCD president. And as ASUCD president, me and my vice president won that election with 67% of the vote. So we cleaned up 23,000 person campus. Just so happens I'm African American, he's African American, and we had 23,000 people, or we won an election on that campus by 67% of the vote. And that meant that we had a $10.5 million budget, 300 employees, 300 student employees, and 12 professional staff. So I went from being this kid in high school who didn't feel valued, didn't feel confident, to somebody who not only felt better about himself, felt like he was included, felt like he made a difference, but to being the actual president of the university. Interesting thing, though. I still wasn't happy. I still didn't actually feel good about me. See, the thing is that the same habits that I had acquired, be successful, get attention, be successful, get attention, that gets you love. I still felt that I didn't mean that much on the inside. I didn't have that belief in myself that I was really, really valuable, right? I still dealt with the same issues of depression and anxiety and all of these things because of just how it was raised. So even though I was going up, I was still going at an angle. Because I'll tell you what, when you see people who are outwardly successful, there's a lot of people out there who are outwardly successful, but inside they're still suffering. And for me, that lasted through that year, and then that same year, first day of summer, my mom passed away, and I had to start an internship at the Capitol 2 weeks later. So I kept going because it's the only thing I knew how to do. So when my mom passed away, obviously that was a major loss for me. But I coped the only way that I knew how. More drugs, more success. It's a weird thing that that's how I coped, but that's what it was. And ultimately, I would just push so hard and never deal with my pain, and push so hard and never deal with my pain that I pushed myself into the state capitol as an intern to Washington, D.C., as an intern to UCLA for law school, and as my outward trajectory was going up, my inward trajectory was going down. That happens. Because look, it's like the pressure only builds on you the more there is to do, the more challenges that you have. The pressure just builds on you. And so if you don't take care of those things now, if you don't have those habits now that will support you in that way, then that pressure will be exponentially higher later in the line. Like, so I did this hike. Everybody know where Mount Shasta is? Mount Shasta? So, you know, some of us, it's north of here. It's all the way north. The furthest we can go north from California, basically. I did this hike there 2015. I tried to climb Mount Shasta. Just did it on a whim, did a lot of hikes, kind of out of shape, but decided I was going to go do it. And I remember I had my pack on. Like when you go up and climb a mountain, you have to carry a lot of stuff, right? You have this really, really big backpack. And so I had packed everything. I packed, a bunch of toilet paper, a bunch of water, all this food, all these things, clothes, change clothes, all this stuff. So I show up, and my backpack is just full. Like I'm just walking my car, and I'm ready to go. Ready to climb this mountain. So I get to the base camp, and the guy says to me, he says, "Okay, I'm going to empty your packs." I think to myself, empty my pack? I just packed this pack. Like I spent all this time shoving all this stuff in here, shoving all these things in here, and you want me to take it out? So I start taking my pack out, my toilet paper, my toothbrush, and everything, my toothpaste, and just, it's all on the ground. And then the guy comes over and he says, listen, he says, you're going to use all that toothpaste? He's like, no, you need one sweep. He said, you're going to use all this toilet paper? He was like, just take a couple squares, leave the rest behind. And I'm like, dude, don't I need this? And he said, listen, if you're going to stay right here on the ground, that's fine. Carry all that stuff. He says, but as you climb this mountain, ounces turn to pounds. He's like, you might think this isn't a huge weight to carry. You might think it doesn't weigh that much. But as you get to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 feet, every ounce will feel like a pound. He's like, you got to drop this stuff now before you get on this climb, because it will weigh you down. The bad habits, thought habits, behaviors, the things that are holding you down right now, that are slowing you down, have to be left here. In high school, in this room. Because as you go through college, and you go through life, those things will drag you down. And I wish I would have known that. Because I got through all of it. Suffering, I got through all of it. Until in 2015, it all came crashing down. I graduated through different types of drugs, ultimately doing something that could have taken my life. And every week I told myself that I was going to quit. I didn't realize I had a problem until I was in law school. I finally saw a psychiatrist. And she said, do you think that maybe your difficult childhood is contributing to your drug use? It's like, I guess that makes sense. But I wasn't smart enough to stop. Not that I wasn't smart enough to stop, I wasn't able to stop because I was that big tree. I was already going in that direction. It was from the beginning that these problems started. Where was I supposed to be now? So it wasn't until 2015 that I was able to basically hit rock bottom. You know, week after week after week, I said, I'll quit doing drugs, I'll quit doing drugs, I'll quit doing drugs, I'll quit doing drugs. And then every week, up all night, up all night, up all night, didn't do it again, didn't do it again, didn't do it again. Until one day, I had an experience. I was in my apartment after, again, this is probably the 6th or 7th week in a row. I was up all night, and I just realized that I was thinking about going to get more. And I thought to myself, one of three things are going to happen if I go and get more. Number one, I'm going to get a DUI on the way there. Number two, I'm going to get a DUI and a felony on the way back because drugs are illegal. I was like, but number three, if I make it back, and I do all of what I was planning to get, which is what I would do because I had no brakes because of my past conditioning, I was going to die. I don't know if you all know about all the recent opioid overdoses, but a lot of people think they have things under control until they don't, right? But I had to face that moment. I had to face a moment where I knew that if I didn't change right there, I was going to be gone. And it was literally like, people say you have to come to Jesus moment. You heard that saying, you have to come to Jesus moment. No, I for real had to come to Jesus moment. I had a moment where God was like, listen, enough. Enough. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? I've given you all these gifts. I've given you all these opportunities. I've given you so much. And can you not see that you're valuable? Can you not see that you're gifted? Can you not see that you have a purpose? Can you not see that your life is worth more than this? And I started to think. I thought to myself, if I die today, it's not so much that I'm gone. Okay, I'm gone. But I thought about the impact I was supposed to have on the world. I thought about the impact that my life is supposed to leave on this planet. I thought about the people I was supposed to help. At that time, I just started the business. I was a lobbyist. I represented the National Alliance for Mental Illness, Children's Defense Fund, all the public defenders in the state. I was winning awards for my success in Sacramento, and I'm suffering on the floor of my apartment, hoping not to die. If I had just known at this age how bad it could possibly get, if I could just known that despite the fact that I faced no consequences as a high school student, that the consequences were definitely coming, if I had just known that I mattered, that there was a way to get help, that there were different things that I could do to be a better person, if I had just known that I could just be myself, everything would have been different for me. So when I got sober that day, I decided I would never use drugs again. I had to ask myself the question, who am I? thing is, I've put on so many different identities, I've gone through so many different challenges, so many different struggles, that I didn't even know who I was. I was Khalid, the party guy, right? Or was I Khalid, the president, the student? Or was I Khalid, the guy who had all these problems? Or was I Khalid, the privileged kid? Who the hell am I? And that was a difficult question to ask. It was a difficult question to answer. And I had to ask myself, who was I before all these bad things happened to me? And who was I before I took on the image or the self-image of being the person that brought me to my knees that day? And I found a kid that loved nature. I found somebody who loved himself. I found a whole different person inside myself that I had to work with. Because I didn't have that consciousness and awareness of mine when I was your age. To simply accept myself. Listen, all of you, right now, I know that high school can be challenging. I know you have a lot of pressure on you. If I went to high school in Instagram age, I don't know what would have happened. I'm a grown man, 35 years old. Sometimes I still get on Instagram and play that comparison game. And go, oh man, that person's in Quintana Roo, oh that's what's up. This person got a Maybach, that's what's up. Yeah, not me. I mean, I got a Jeep, but it ain't that nice. You know? I'll play this game with myself. And it's like, these comparisons that we make, like, all of us are in this world where we see the best side of everybody else, and it makes us feel, maybe not all of us, but some of us, makes us feel worse about ourselves. Millennials, even though I'm 35, I'm still a millennial, millennials, we have like some of the highest rates of depression and anxiety ever. And it's because of all these comparisons that are being made all over the place. It's because of Facebook, it's because of Instagram, it's because of Snapchat. It's because we see the best part of everybody's life, and we think there's something wrong with us. We see people getting to better colleges than us, and we judge ourselves based on that. We see people who look better than us, who have better bodies than us, who have more things than us, and we judge ourselves based on that. And that's a surefire way to end up in a place where you don't value yourself, you don't love yourself, and you don't treat your life with the respect that it deserves. Because ultimately that's what I was doing. I wasn't treating my life with the respect that it deserved. I wasn't treating my life I wasn't honoring my life for what it really was. Now all my successes aside, again, I'm really happy I did so many things right. Because I was successful outwardly. I studied hard. I went to classes mostly. I did a lot of hard work. But the hardest work I ever had to do was healing all these wounds inside of me that had developed at a young age. And so I look back and I say, what if I had talked to somebody about my struggles? Has anybody here ever felt depressed, anxious, suffering, like there's something that they want to deal with, want to talk to somebody about? You don't have to raise your hands high, but I see your half hands. I appreciate that. And most people have expressed that. Most people have dealt with that, especially in high school. What I wish I would have known back then is, number one, do something about it. Talk to Mrs. Pong. Do something about it. Talk to a friend. Do something about it. If it's your parents, don't talk to them, but if it's not, talk to them. But don't let your pain or suffering go unchecked. Because if it does, you develop poor coping mechanisms that will not serve you well in the future. Like I did, mine was drugs. Now, I said I was smoking marijuana, but I also smoked cigarettes, I also drank alcohol. And today I know the thing to do is vaping. A lot of people think that that's not a big deal. I didn't think weed was a big deal until I ended up doing all these other drugs because of it. And they talk about the idea of a gateway drug or gateway activity. And you might think, oh, well, it's legal, it's cool, weed's legal now, oh, it must not be that bad. Alcohol's legal too, and it kills people. I have a neighbor the other day, I saw them pull his body out of his apartment after he sat there for 3 weeks after killing himself because he was an alcoholic. This is like a serious issue, but what you all can understand. So with the thought habits around your depression and anxiety, find positive coping skills, talk to somebody, really get some help. That could have saved me so much pain in my life. But the thing that really got me was the addiction. And right now, where you are, if you're using drugs in high school, you're like 75% more likely to be addicted as an adult. And it's very might if you'll stick to just vaping, or you'll stick to just marijuana. Because it's going to get harder to avoid these things in college. It's going to get harder to avoid these things in the real world. Attorneys, maybe these are lawyers in here, and you have an ask you, okay, cool, yeah. You guys have the highest rate, lawyers have the highest rate of depression and alcoholism of any profession. I think next is doctors. So there's a lot of challenges that you'll face out there if you don't have the skills in place now and the understanding in place now to deal with these challenges. So the first thing is, accept yourself for who you are. Accept yourself for who you are. You're going to have people all around you who might, like they did to me, act like you're not good enough to be around them or something's wrong with you or whatever. Forget that. Don't listen to them. Accept yourself for who you are. Understand that you're special, whole, and complete as you are. You don't have to change for anybody. You have to put on new identities anywhere you go. You hold tight to who you are until you get to a place where people respect and appreciate you, because it will come. And for me, that came in college, it came in professional life. It's come in floods. But in high school, I wasn't comfortable with who I am, so I hid myself, and I ended up being this other guy who I created. If you have challenges, psychologically, depression, anxiety, just too much stress, you don't know how to deal with it, ask for help. And make sure that you get that stuff off your chest. Because you don't want to take these habits to high school, to college. You don't want to take these habits to college. People, there's a very, very high rate of depression, anxiety, and suicide in college as well. Because it doesn't get easier, it gets more difficult, right? If you have the right coping skills, you can make it through anything. I'm so happy I made it through my challenges, and I know if you all start now, you'll definitely make it through those challenges, but hopefully you'll never have them. And then lastly, understand that addiction is, as my doctor described it, insidious. You might think that you've got it under control, you're just vaping now, no big deal, but all that leads to something else. Not to mention that that's not healthy in and of itself. And the way that I look at myself now as a sober person, as somebody who's very successful, as somebody who's been able to change identities in a positive way, going from a lawyer to being a motivational speaker, and from being all that time put into law, ended up moving into motivational speaking. This is what I do full time now. It's much more satisfying, much more fulfilling, allows me to really be myself. What I can tell you is that I value my life too much to use drugs. I value my life and my health too much to use drugs. I value my life and my health and the desire to live long and be happy for a long time too much to drink. I'm not judging people who drink. I'm not judging people who use drugs. Obviously, I was one of them. But I'm telling you now that my life is better without it. But all the pain and suffering that I talked about, not only has that stuff gone away and vanished, it's going to replace it with just pure joy and happiness. Today I had to tell you some difficult parts about my past, which is a sad story. But my life is great now. I live in San Diego. I surf every day. This is what I do for a living. It's pretty great. And I know a lot of people who are living really, really great lives because of a couple reasons. Number one, they've dealt with their stuff, right? They've been able to break out of whatever negative patterns they had that led them to a negative place. And when I say people, I mean people who used to be addicts as well. But more than anything, I know that for you, if you believe that there's something great out there for you, if you believe that there's something special in this world just for you, if you believe that you can actually have your ideal life, have all the things that you want, have the dreams that you want to live, you won't want to do anything to slow that down. If this is me after drug addiction, what would happen if I was really focused? People say, you're so successful. I'm like, yeah, but come on. If I had 100% of my faculties in high school, number one, I would have more money because I wouldn't have had to take out so many loans for college and law school. I would have a better relationship. So much of my life would be better. And wealth is not really measured in money. It's measured in happiness and quality of life. I make less money now than I did as a lawyer. I'm much wealthier because I'm actually happy. I've let go of all my pain. I've let go of all my struggles. And I have a beautiful sense of life and a beautiful sense of my future in a loving, loving, loving relationship with myself. And I know that there's a lot of people who can't say that, but I want to tell you that prioritizing that, developing that relationship with yourself, accepting yourself, and also accepting people around you, because for all the things that I said that people treated me poorly and said I wasn't black enough or I wasn't white enough. I always was just like, how can I get white enough because I'm black or whatever. So I could never quite make that one fit. But whatever it was, there's always somebody on the outside pushing me and saying I didn't belong. Please, don't be that person. Everybody here is part of God's family, right? No matter what race, what color, where they come from, we are all brothers and sisters here. And the more we realize that and we come together, not only as a school, but as a community, as a nation, as a world, the better this world is going to be. Like I said, you can feel a purpose in there. So I encourage you to ask yourself this question, like, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be in the world? What impact do I want to make? What do I want my legacy to be? Do I want to be somebody who made great music and then died at 27, like Mac Miller, who couldn't make it through his addiction? Great artist, gone. I don't want that to be your legacy. I want you to be somebody who is like Pete Buttigieg, 37, running for president, or whatever it is that you want. It's possible for you. You all go to St. Vincent de Paul High School, that means you're all super smart and academically going to excel. The question is, will you be there to receive the benefits of your hard work? Will you be there to see your dreams through? I think if that dream is big enough, you work hard enough, and you address these challenges, dealing with your anxiety, dealing with your depression, staying away from drugs, or dealing with your addiction, you do that